Now let's start organizing those spaces into zones. So let's go ahead and isolate the zones once more, just to speed up the process. So remember, selecting the zone tool and then select all zones, Control A or Command A, and then F5 or a right click and show selection. If you want to come back to this view very often, you can also save the view in the Kobe Setup 2 folder, which is the current stage of these videos. So let's click on Save Current View, and I'm just going to call this Spaces. Now, the next thing you need to do is to bring up the IFC Project Manager. And you can do this by going to File, Interoperability IFC, and IFC Project Manager. Okay, once we're here, let's start by moving this to the side just slightly. And let's go on the lower left and go to the Assignments tab. Scroll all the way up, and we're going to rework these zones right here. Currently, we have a single zone called Ground Area, which we created in the exercise in the beginning of this unit. So feel free to get rid of that. I'm just going to click on that and click on Delete. And now let's create a list of zones to divide the spaces into logical groups. So let's start by here and click on this button to create a new zone. Right there. And let's move it a little bit to the left. And now I'm going to start giving them a number of names. Now I'm going to go through this list and I'm going to pause the video right now. I'm going to show you the final result so that you can copy it. And once done, you should have something like this. I have 6 of them: bathrooms, evacuation route, lifts, service areas, office spaces, and the stairs. Now, the next step is to group them simply by drag them from the list into the new relation folder inside this substructure. So what we need to do is go back to your 3D view, and I will recommend using the Find and Select tool and simply use the element type and related zone just to find the spaces that you need to group. Now, if you're not 100% sure, best thing is usually just to use your selection tool, simply your 3D model and the selection tool to grab the properties into the Find and Select tool. So you can use that if you like. Just move this slightly like so. Like so. And just grab the properties, everything that contains bathroom. That's 9 of them. Then we go and click this button right here on the IFC Project Manager to show that model selection on the list here on the top. And then simply drag those zones that have been selected already into this folder right here. So simply grab them by the icon like so and drop them into this folder that is called New Relation under Bathrooms. And there we go. Now we've got these 9 spaces as part of that zone like that. So let's go ahead and populate the other ones. So what I'll do is close that. Let's choose now evacuation route, that right there. And what I'm going to do now is a selection of the stairs. So click on plus or stair actually. And we're going to add to that selection the whole area. And that's going to be the evacuation route. So once we have it selected, then go to select or show model in the list. And similar to what we did, we just drag them down into the new relation folder. So let's grab that from the icon and down into the new relation folder. Like so. Let's close that and let's continue with the lifts. Now let's go and find lifts. Like so. And select them on the list right here. And then drag them down from the icon into the folder. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the office spaces, which is all the offices, and service areas, which will be a combination of all the shafts and then the basement, and the stairs, which is of course just the stairs on the right hand side. So let's go ahead and do that bit. Okay, so I have finished this. So now I have starting from the bottom, all the stairs in the stairs zone, service areas. Those are going to be the shafts and also the roof and the basement. Office spaces, just all the office areas, the lift, evacuation route, and so on. If in doubt and to double check, just move the IFC project manager to the side. You can close Find and Select, and then check your zones simply by going into the new relation folder, select the individual spaces from the list, and then click on Show Selection List in Model. And then ArchiCAD should then just display or pre-select those elements in your model, like so. Let's do the same thing. Let's say now with the service areas, 12 spaces, select the first, press and hold Shift, select the last one, and that's going to be the rooftop, the shafts, and the basement. And the office spaces, just for testing, all the open office areas that we have in the building. Okay, with this, we finish the creation of the zones for IFC purposes once creating the Kobe export that we're going to start working on. Next, for the properties, both for the component level and the type level.